When you began building websites, did you expect content to wrap around a floated image with transparency? Did you think that the first time you created a floated circle with a 50% border radius that the content would flow around it in an arc? And each time you did you yell to yourself, "Why is this not possible?" Well, this used to be a real problem on the web, but now we have CSS Shapes. CSS Shapes is a specification for wrapping content around custom shapes and paths. The name CSS Shapes is somewhat misleading. You see, shapes are all about controlling how content flows around a shape or image, but they do not actually render a shape to the page. So to put it another way, CSS Shapes do not actually create visual shapes in the page, they simply determine what the float area looks like. They provide us with the ability to create more dynamic layouts on the web by breaking free from rectangles and boxes. Now, before we get too far along, however, there are some rules and core concepts that we need to understand. Currently, they can only be applied when used in combination with CSS floats. So if an item is not floated left or right, then shapes will simply not be applied. And they can only be applied to block level elements or inline elements that are set to display block. Also, content will only flow to the right of a left floated item and will only flow to the left of a right floated item. It will never flow on more than one side or within open areas of a shape or image. So if we take a triangle, for example, and float it to the left, even though we have some free space on the left, the content will only flow around the right edge and not actually on both sides. CSS Shapes use the shape outside property, which can accept different categories of values. First, there are keyword values, which refer to the shape box types from the CSS box model. These values are none, margin box, border box, padding box, and content box. Next, we have basic shape values, which refer to basic shape functions in CSS. These values are circle, ellipse, inset, and polygon. Then there are URL values, which are based off of the URL for a given image. And finally, we have some global values. And these values are initial, inherit, and unset. Okay, with those basic fundamentals under our belt, we will next explore what is referred to as the reference box. We will take a look at what it is, what it does, and how we can manipulate it to best suit our needs.